something strange happened again. The man simply picked up a pair of scissors. He thought about trimming the potted plants in the courtyard. The system then rewarded him with the scripture of all spirits and the scripture of thousand Dan. The gardener is named Chu Xuan. Just now, the girl who accompanied him in cultivation was Sister Yun. Early in the morning, she rushed to his room and told him that she was already approaching the fourth layer of the profound stage. She planned to return to her ancestral home to prepare for the breakthrough. Chu Xuan was not surprised by Sister Yun's rapid cultivation progress. Instead, he thought about waiting until Sister Yun broke through to the fourth layer of the profound stage. That old man Chu Tianming probably won't dare to entertain the idea of forming a marriage alliance with the Qin family anymore. He watched Sister Yun's receding figure as she walked away. He could only utter desolately. Chu Xuan, finally finding a moment of peace, casually grabbed a technique book. He plans to cultivate quietly until the heavens darken and the earth goes dim. Chu Xuan realized something was off. This feeling is exactly like, as if predestined by fate. He spread his own fingers open. He could actually materialize objects out of thin air. A translucent jade rabbit suddenly appeared beneath his palm. Could this be the mark of the true stage? He could barely perceive it. This is something materialized by spiritual power. Just when Chu Xuan couldn't believe it, the system notification sound dispelled his doubts. You keep staying at home, broke through to the true stage. Reward pet, heaven-shaking golden rock. Another pet rewarded. Its strength is indeed at the true stage 1 layer, but it's so tiny. I wonder when it will finally grow up. It is an ancient divine beast. It can shake the 9 heavens above and split the 9 abysses below. Meow. Celestial beauty Meow had already caught the scent of food and was fawning over its owner with an ingratiating look. Gulp. Before Chu Xuan could stop it, Celestial beauty Meow heaven-shaking golden rock had already responded with a cry, instantly entering combat readiness, spreading its golden wings wide and igniting terrifying flames behind it. Celestial beauty Meow had never endured such provocation before. Unwilling to be outdone, it shook off a blue aura, and a great battle was on the verge of breaking out. Don't fight among yourselves. Take him to the yard for a stroll to get familiar with the surroundings. Chu Xuan lifted the 2 little ones up and instructed them to be good friends from now on. After sending the 2 adorable pets out, Chu Xuan confirmed that he had already broken through to the true stage. It seems the evil cult is no longer a concern. Perhaps with the rewards from this year, I can directly break through to the Emperor stage. Once I reach the Emperor stage, I will truly have nothing to fear in the South Prefecture. Just thinking about it makes me happy. Staying at home is truly wonderful. At this moment, a potted plant in the corner caught my eye. It seems it's time for a trim. Such a cozy life, truly comfortable, though it could use a beautiful maid. Pure bliss. Fantasies don't last more than 3 seconds. Well, another random reward triggered. You trim the bonsai. Staying at home brings a joyful mood. Reward. Scripture of all spirits and scripture of thousand Dan. It records all spiritual beings and celestial treasures between heaven and earth. By thoroughly studying the scripture of all spirits, one can recognize any spiritual being and any celestial treasure between heaven and earth, even those that have already become extinct. As for the scripture of thousand elixirs, it is a manual on elixir refining. It records countless elixir scriptures and numerous methods of elixir refining throughout history. It happens to be a perfect way to pass the time. This Dan refining manual could actually be something for Chu Yun to learn. Find a few Dan scriptures and place them into her cultivation notes. After Chu Yun learns it, then her status in the Chu family will surpass Chu Qing's in 1 leap, even surpassing that of the family head, Chu Tianming. If he finds out, he will definitely be even more reluctant to let Chu Yun leave the Chu family. This is a good plan. The man, worried and so close yet unable to see his girl, raised his arm high and waved it vigorously. The girl's name was Chu Yun, the very Sister Yun spoken of by the man across from him. Chu Yun had broken through to the 4th layer of the profound stage and came especially to thank Chu Xuan. Chu Xuan, on the other hand, remained quite composed. After all, with the enlightenment tea he had gifted, it was impossible not to progress quickly. Still, he offered verbal praise. Not bad at all, breaking through so swiftly. I was tidying up the bookshelf a couple of days ago and found the Dan scripture that my father left behind. I've placed it in the cultivation insights section for you. Go take a look. Chu Yuan, taking the book, looked utterly astonished. There was actually a Dan refining manual for crafting the void synthesis pill. If the void synthesis pill is successfully crafted, Grandpa might have a chance to break through to the union stage. Third uncle actually didn't pass down the Dan refining manual. Chu Xuan noticed Sister Yun's concern and blamed himself for overlooking such a crucial detail. Could it be that this Dan refining manual has a special origin? Should I learn it? Would it bring disaster to the Chu family? Seeing Sister Yun's growing doubts, Chu Xuan felt exhausted. Oh, women. I've known about the Dan refining manual for a long time. Father wanted me to learn it, but I didn't because I found it too tiring. Sister Yun, you can rest assured. The origin is completely without any issues. Chu Xuan was quite satisfied with his own explanation. However, the Dan refining manual is far too precious in the South Prefecture, so we must remain cautious. If it were to be leaked and fall into the hands of the powerful factions in the South Prefecture, the Chu family would face catastrophic consequences. Even the usually meticulous Sister Yun, Chu Xuan, was witnessing this for the first time. There was no time to comfort Chu Yun, so she emphasized again, especially if it catches the attention of the demonic king's court, the consequences would be unimaginable. I'd better learn it secretly, then go out to gain experience and find a secluded place to refine the elixir. Could this be the change after breaking through to the fourth layer of the profound stage? Afraid that Chu Yun might continue questioning, Chu Xuan quickly chimed in. Yes, it's better to be cautious. Chu Xuan handed a jade token to Chu Yun. He said it was left by their father. He himself wasn't going out to train anyway. It's of no use. Then I'll give it to Chu Yun for self-defense. Afterwards, Chu Xuan still felt uneasy, so he contacted Zhang Kuei through the soul-sealing mark, asking him to secretly protect Chu Yun. With Zhang Kuei's strength at the void stage, 9th layer, and under the control of the soul-sealing mark, it should be secure within the Chu Empire. After arranging all these matters, he could finally relax and stay at home. With that, he stretched lazily. This is an ordinary-looking cave, but inside lies a hidden world. Located in the Purple Moon Empire, the cave houses an underground palace. Inside the palace, an old man is passionately analyzing the current situation to his subordinates, filled with righteous indignation. The right protector has fallen in the Chu commandery of the Qin Empire, and this matter is undoubtedly linked to the Chu family. This proud-looking old man is named Yuan Chong, the deputy leader of the evil cult in the Purple Moon Empire. Wasn't the right protector killed during the internal conflict within the same sect in the Qin Empire? Asked a powerful member of the evil cult, his face full of confusion. That may be so, but who truly knows the real situation? If it weren't for the Chu family's sabotage, our sect would never have come to this, Yuan Chong said fiercely. More than 10 evil cult elders of the Purple Moon Empire have fallen. Even the cult leader was severely wounded and nearly fell. The root of all this traces back to the Chu family disrupting the evil cult schemes. Summon all the elders. This debt must be settled with the Chu family. In less than the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, the area outside the palace was already bustling with people. Who will go to settle this debt for my Purple Moon evil cult? Commanded Yuan Chong. The elders present could not help but murmur among themselves. Although the overall strength of the Chu family is not as great as that of the Purple Moon Empire, they are by no means weak. Moreover, the Qin Empire is not our territory. Venturing there recklessly might lead to unforeseen dangers. One elder frowned and said, our primary target remains the Purple Moon Empire. Many elders of the evil cult nodded in agreement. How can we simply let the matter with the Chu family rest? They have disrupted our sect's long-standing plans. Once the king's court has the capacity to act, they will not spare the Chu family either. Are we supposed to wait until the king's court issues orders before taking action? Yuan Chong snorted in dissatisfaction and continued his analysis. We don't necessarily have to fight the Chu family head-on. I've heard that Chu Chulua's son has been expelled from the ancestral home. Since we can't do much against the Chu family for now, why not capture Chu Chulua's son? That would at least allow us to vent some of our frustration. At this point, an elder questioned, Chu Chulua's son has already been expelled from the ancestral home. What's the use of capturing him? Yuan Chong angrily rebuked him. He is Chu Chulua's son, not some random nobody's child. Even if he is useless, as long as he is Chu Chulua's son, he has value. Besides, Chu Chulua might not even be dead. If Chu Chulua ever returns, we can send his son to the king's court as a hostage, which will surely make him think twice before acting. The elder who just raised doubts immediately changed his stance to go with the flow. Then I will make a trip myself. Everyone turned their gaze to a frail-looking elder. Seeing that none of the elders had any objections, Yuan Chang's gloomy expression finally eased slightly. Then we'll leave it to Elder Lu Yuan, who is most skilled in concealment. On the other side, Chu Xuan, who was holed up in the courtyard, was feeling quite content. Sitting in a recliner, basking in the sun, he leisurely sipped enlightenment tea, filled with joy as he awaited the arrival of the one-year mark of staying at home. Perhaps out of sheer boredom, Chu Xuan stretched his limbs, complaining about why the evil cult had been so quiet lately. Suddenly he received a barrier warning. A powerful intruder had breached. What? Is the evil cult here again? Although Chu Xuan's confidence had grown significantly after breaking through to the true stage, but he still needed to remain steady where it was necessary. The newcomer's strength was at the void stage, third layer. Belongs to the high-ranking elder level. Yet why didn't Zhang Kuei send a message to himself? You would never guess. This little elder volunteered to go teach a lesson to a good-for-nothing young master. He actually intended to seize power and usurp the throne. The little elder's name was Lu Yuan. Although he was not the strongest among the evil cult elders of the Purple Moon Empire, he was the most skilled at escaping and hiding. Just a moment ago, Lu Yuan, who believed he was perfectly hidden, little did he expect to have triggered the 5 elements formation laid out by Chu Xuan. The tranquil courtyard instantly became filled with a deadly aura. Yet Lu Yuan remained completely unaware. He even thought to himself that the absence of any strong guardians near Chu Xuan's courtyard made it all the more convenient for him to stir up trouble. Then he ran into a frail-looking man. You must be Chu Chula's son, he said. Chu Xuan's face was written all over with helplessness. What on earth is going on with that father of mine? Why does everyone want to catch me? Without waiting for Chu Xuan to get into position, Lu Yuan didn't say a word and dashed forward, reaching out to grab him. You're the one I'm looking for. At the very moment Lu Yuan's feet left the ground, his shoulders suddenly sank, and he took a heavy blow to the head. He was sent flying several meters through the air. Lu Yuan, who had fallen to the ground, was greatly shocked. Could it be that Chu Chula's son was just a decoy? Have I fallen into an ambush? He raised his head again. Suddenly a huge python appeared beside Chu Xuan, while Chu Xuan himself looked down at Lu Yuan. Which member of the evil cult are you? I was just curious, he said. Coming back to his senses, Lu Yuan didn't hear a word of what Chu Xuan had asked. He was completely lost in his own thoughts. A void stage demon beast that could appear out of thin air. Could this be something Chu Chula left for his son? Since there's no one else around, it means it's not an ambush. I need to find an opportunity to capture him. Not going to talk, huh? Chu Xuan smiled indifferently. Suddenly, the giant python opened its gaping maw and under Lu Yuan's horrified gaze, swallowed him whole in one gulp. Lu Yuan, breaking out in a cold sweat from the shock, instinctively raised his arm in a futile attempt to block the attack, but the giant python suddenly vanished, and its appearance had been so abrupt. A chilling thought crossed Lu Yuan's mind. This was the technique of a true stage expert, the ability to materialize illusions into reality. The Chu family actually had a true stage powerhouse, and he was so young. Looking at Chu Xuan's handsome appearance, there was a faint resemblance to Chu Chula. You are. A storm of shock surged in his heart. What? Chu Chulua and his wife went missing while exploring ancient ruins. It was all a lie. Chu Chulua had actually obtained a great opportunity. To avoid drawing the attention of major forces, he fabricated the story of their disappearance and even altered his appearance slightly. Discovering such a huge secret, this was practically asking to be silenced. The more Lu Yuan thought about it, the more plausible it seemed. Cold sweat began to trickle down unconsciously. Seeing Lu Yuan so frightened, Chu Xuan couldn't help but grin from ear to ear. My name is Chu Xuan, son of Chu Chula. I won't kill you. Tell me which branch of the evil cult you're from. Lu Yuan was drenched in cold sweat and did not dare to slack off in the slightest. I am not from the Qin Empire evil cult. I am an elder of the Purple Moon Empire evil cult, Lu Yuan. You're from the Purple Moon Empire? What's the meaning of coming to Qin Empire's territory to capture me? Lu Yuan naturally dared not hide the fact that a protector of the Purple Moon Empire died in the Chu Empire. The deputy cult leader suspected the Chu family was behind it, so he sent me to capture you as a hostage. Upon hearing this, Chu Xuan felt utterly speechless. So that's what happened. Zhu Chong's counterattack last time. The results were quite remarkable. Even took out a guardian of the Purple Moon Empire. The evil cult of the Purple Moon Empire actually has its eyes on me. Then don't blame me for taking action. Chu Xuan has planted a soul mark on Lu Yuan and infused a surge of spiritual power to ensure he can maintain peak output at all times. Even Void Stage 9 layer would find it difficult to kill him. Then he issued his first command to Lu Yuan. Pretend to have gained an opportunity and intend to usurp the throne, then turn around and kill the evil cult followers of the Purple Moon Empire. Kill as many as possible. Perhaps if he performs well, he might even deal a heavy blow to the evil cult of the Purple Moon Empire. This would significantly reduce the pressure on the Chu family. Chu Xuan's clever plan was already clicking into place. Watching Lu Yuan's retreating figure, Chu Xuan sighed to himself, thinking that this should allow him to live a stable, reclusive life for a while. As long as he breaks through to the Emperor stage, the demonic king's court would no longer be a threat. Lu Yuan returned to the underground palace. The evil cult elders of the Purple Moon Empire gathered together. The person hasn't been captured? An elder frowned at Lu Yuan. Could it be that they failed? Lu Yuan snorted coldly. You have no right to demand anything from me. What is Yuan Chong? I will take the position of cult leader. All the elders were stunned. Lu Yuan has lost his mind. How dare he covet the position of cult leader? Who gave him the audacity? Lu Yuan remains as arrogant as ever. He looks down upon everyone present with contempt. I, Lu Yuan, possess great fortune. Breaking through to the union stage is just around the corner. The position of cult leader is mine for the taking. Ha 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 ha. What kind of incredible confidence is it that allows such a small elder to? What kind of incredible confidence is it that allows such a small elder to dare covet the position of evil cult leader? This small elder, named Lu Yuan, after arrogantly sizing up the entire scene, the faces of all the elders instantly darkened. Everyone began to accuse Lu Yuan of having a stroke of luck. He encountered a fortuitous opportunity, and his strength greatly increased. He actually became arrogant. He dares to covet the position of cult leader. Especially the few great elders who are even more powerful. They directly scolded Lu Yuan for being presumptuous. This is courting death. Zhang Tu, who is on good terms with Lu Yuan, hurriedly spoke up. Watch your words. We're all brothers, but some jokes shouldn't be made casually. Unexpectedly, Lu Yuan showed no appreciation for Zhang Tu's gesture, retorting, Zhang Tu, you're just a useless piece of trash. Teaming up with you is nothing but an insult to me. Zhang Tu was so angry that his face turned green. You little brat, you're really getting full of yourself. Who opposes, who supports? Lu Yuan still looked down on everyone present. Opponents die, but those in the room were no pushovers. A group of evil cult elders were furious. Even the cult leader wouldn't dare to utter such arrogant words. Who do you think you are? Do you think you're a big shot from the king's court? I oppose. How dare you? Zhang Tu was the first to stand up and say angrily. Then go die. Lu Yuan immediately took action. With a single slash, he unleashed his ultimate move right from the start. Zhang Tu never expected that Lu Yuan would actually strike, leaving him no choice but to hastily defend. An arm was severed, instantly turning into a shower of flesh and blood amidst the blade's gleam. You're insane. Luckily, an elder nearby intervened, preventing Zhang Tu from being directly assassinated. How dare you defy me? How dare you stop me from killing? Lu Yuan was furious and immediately attacked again. That elder was driven mad with rage and frantically tried to block. Lu Yuan has truly gone mad. The other elders were both shocked and enraged, shouting, Stop this at once or do not blame us for being impolite. Lu Yuan flew into a rage, declaring, Those who obey me shall live, those who defy me shall die. How dare you oppose me? All of you go to hell. The evil cult elders were so enraged they nearly vomited blood. Lu Yuan has truly gone mad. The arrogance in his tone. Do you think you are the venerable evil king? He has already gone mad. Zhang Tu, clutching his wound tightly, said in a flustered and exasperated manner. I'll kill you first. Lu Yuan roared, a surge of powerful spiritual energy rising from his sword. Spiritual power instantly swept out, and Zhang Tu fell to the ground with a thud, leaving all the elders present utterly horrified. This power is so domineering. It truly is a chance encounter with a rare opportunity. No wonder he's so arrogant. And he might already be under the influence of this power. He's starting to lose his sanity. Even the strongest bald elder present was also. This terrifying power sent chills down his spine. He quickly called on everyone to join forces and suppress Lu Yuan. Beside them, Lu Yuan remained completely unperturbed. Under such continuous outbursts, his physical body ultimately couldn't withstand the true stage level of spiritual power and began to emit a dazzling multicolored aura. "Let's die together," he roared at the sky. Lu Yuan actually lunged forward directly. This was clearly an attempt to self-destruct. The bald elder was terrified in his heart. "Lu Yuan, you bastard, you're actually going to self-destruct." Spiritual power ran rampant, and the underground palace began to collapse. I don't know how much time had passed. Yuan Chong looked at the ruins of the underground palace, thinking it was an attack by the strong experts of the Purple Moon Empire. He rushed in frantically, ready to offer aid. All he saw was the bald elder half collapsed against the wall. Where are the others? No enemies were found. Yuan Chong roared with fury. "Lu Yuan, that bastard did this." The bald elder spat blood, truly enraged to the point of explosion. "Lu Yuan?" Yuan Chong was stunned. "Does Lu Yuan have this kind of strength? Where are the others?" "All dead, I'm the only one left." The bald elder paused to catch his breath, spitting blood as he spoke. Yuan Chong's mind instantly buzzed with confusion. All dead. At least 70% of the elders were completely wiped out. The losses were so severe. How am I supposed to compete with other sects now? Bald elder, spitting blood alone, glared at the dazed Yuan Chong and gritted his teeth, saying, "Damn it, stop standing there. I think I can still be saved." Yuan Chong snapped back to reality. He pulled out a bottle of elixir pills and continued to ask for the reason. "Quick, take the elixir pill and tell me the whole story in detail." Look carefully. The man actually had firecrackers in his hand. Lu Yuan single-handedly filled the underground palace of the Purple Moon evil cult with billowing smoke. Corpses lay scattered everywhere. At this moment the system appeared. You never even left your home. Slaying enemies from 10,000 miles away. Reward 10 years of cultivation level. Add 1 case of celestial thunder flash. The system's voice rang out, and Chu Xuan immediately perked up. This time the counterattack had yielded excellent results. He received 10 years of cultivation level, and a surge of power and insight emerged. His strength gradually increased, rising from true stage 1 layer to true stage 3 layer. The higher the stage, the slower the strength increases. This time he only advanced 2 minor stages. Chu Xuan examined the celestial thunder flash, a one-time use explosive spiritual artifact that contains a trace of celestial thunder power, effective in suppressing evil cultivators. The explosive force is sufficient to severely injure a true stage 1 layer expert. Is this the cultivation world version of a hand grenade? If any evil cult followers come to harass me again, I'll just stuff a few celestial thunder flashes into their hands and let them counterkill by heading straight to the demonic king's court to detonate them. After counterkilling the Purple Moon Empire evil cult, I should finally be able to stay quietly at home until the 1-year deadline arrives. The Purple Moon Empire evil cult has been severely weakened. Surely they won't send anyone else, right? He was having a sweet dream when Chu Xuan sensed that Zhang Kuei had triggered the soul-sealing mark, indicating there might be something important to report. Chu Xuan immediately became serious. Could it be that a strong expert from the demonic king's court was attacking? After he responded, a figure appeared outside the courtyard. "Master." Chu Xuan sat in the chair, sipping enlightenment tea, and calmly asked. The soul-sealing mark can convey Chu Xuan's will, but Zhang Kuei can only use it to transmit simple meanings and cannot engage in detailed communication. The specific situation still requires Zhang Kuei to explain it clearly in person. The deputy cult leader of the Purple Moon Empire's evil cult, Yuan Chong, has secretly allied with the cult leader of the Qin Empire's evil cult, Lu Wang, plotting to launch a surprise attack on Chu Commandery with a group of powerful experts, aiming to encircle and eliminate the strong members of the Chu family. To Chu Xuan's surprise, Yuan Chong did not continue to cause trouble for him, but instead still held the grudge against the Chu family. Once the plan is successfully implemented, the Chu family is bound to suffer heavy losses, with at least a few void stage managers or elders falling, and even Chu Yun could be in danger. Chu Xuan was speechless. Why do they always stir up trouble? The Chu family must not be in chaos. No matter what. He is also a member of the Chu family. Moreover, the Chu family is really going to suffer heavy losses. That is not a good thing. This will affect his peaceful, stay-at-home lifestyle. Chu Xuan pondered for a moment and instructed Zhang Kuei, find a way to leak the information to the Chu family. Also disclose the evil cult's objectives and the timing of their actions. The Chu family will naturally handle it. The most important thing is to protect Miss Chu Yun. Understood. Zhang Kuei replied respectfully. Chu Xuan thought for a moment. Chu Yuan is currently learning alchemy, and must be in great need of various spiritual herbs. So he continued to instruct. Secretly gather all kinds of spiritual herbs and rare treasures for Chu Yuan. Let her obtain them by chance, in short, find a way to handle this properly. Yes, master. Chu Xuan also took out precious pills such as the Great Mythical Pill, the Great Spirit Pill, and the Mythical Void Pill, instructing Zhang Kuei to find a way to sell them. To ensure Chu Yuan's safety, Chu Xuan manifested 2 giant pythons in front of him. These 2 pythons possessed the strength of the Union Stage's 5th layer. Although their power could not be sustained for long, within the borders of the Qin Empire, they were virtually invincible. If you approach Chu Yuan, one of the giant pythons will naturally merge into her body. The remaining one will be left for you to use for self-preservation. Thank you, Master Zhang Kuei. He was very excited. With the spiritual power python by his side, he no longer had to worry about his life being threatened. Chu Xuan threw out another mythical Union Dan. You should strive to break through to the Union Stage as soon as possible. Zhang Kuei left excitedly. Chu Tianming has also half-stepped into the Union Stage, but breaking through is not easy. At his current stage, taking a mythical Union Dan would definitely allow him to break through. However, Chu Xuan has no intention of giving him the mythical Union Dan. This cheap grandfather has never favored him and gets annoyed every time he sees him. It's better to wait until Chu Yuan refines the Void Synthesis Dan, allowing Chu Tianming to break through with it. Chu Yuan's position in the Chu family will then become even more unshakable. This old man's talent isn't very impressive, Chu Xuan muttered to himself. Why has no one ever doubted that his father, Chu Chulua, could break through to the Union Stage or even the True Stage? Could it be that his father cultivates a stronger technique? That can't be right. If there really were such a powerful technique, wouldn't his father have passed it on to the Chu family? Chu Xuan knew very well that his father still held deep affection for the Chu family. Relying on half a true scripture, he was able to break through to the Union Stage. Even to the point of breaking through to the True Stage. Father's talent is truly amazing, Chu Xuan sighed. No wonder he could dominate his generation in the Qin Empire and is hailed as the most exceptionally gifted in the history of the Chu family. Look quickly, the next action of this giant python is absolutely appalling. It actually burrowed straight into a girl's lower abdomen. Chu Xuan received an 11-month stay-at-home reward, an enhanced version of the diagram of spirit refinement. Coincidentally, his previous diagram of spirit refinement had weakened significantly and was almost on the verge of becoming ineffective. Chu Xuan only glanced at it for 2 or 3 seconds before feeling as if he were about to become completely absorbed. His head felt swollen and dizzy. Enhanced version of the diagram of spirit refinement. Even upon reaching the Emperor stage, it still yields certain effects. That time, he might be able to obtain the enhanced version of the diagram of spirit refinement again. The low-tier diagram of spirit refinement has already been phased out. For Chu Xuan it is now useless, but in the South Prefecture, it remains an absolute top-tier treasure. Chu Commandery. Chu Commandery. Chu Qing is now striving with renewed determination. Last time he was ambushed by the evil cult and nearly lost his life. Fortunately, he managed to activate the Sky Escape Orb in time and escaped with his life. He harbors a deep-seated hatred for them. These days he has mobilized the intelligence network of the Chu family to secretly investigate the evil cult's strongholds. He is determined to eradicate the evil cult completely. He also considered purchasing intelligence from the Black Moon Pavilion, but the Black Moon Pavilion's exorbitant price for information on the evil cult's strongholds was too high. He had no choice but to rely on the Chu family's intelligence network. Chu Commandery is under the jurisdiction of the Chu family, and their intelligence system is quite robust. However, due to the lack of detection-type spiritual artifacts or even treasure artifacts, it is extremely difficult to uncover the evil cult's key strongholds. At that moment, a steward rushed in hurriedly and reported that someone had delivered a piece of intelligence. Chu Qing raised his head. Who sent it? Not from the other 3 families, and certainly not from the Black Moon Pavilion. I don't know who it was, the steward replied, shaking his head. Chu Qing took the intelligence report and glanced at it, his expression instantly changing. Go and invite forth uncle here, Chu Qing said. The steward hurriedly left. Chu Chouhai is the 4th son of Chu Tianming. His talent is only considered above average among his siblings, and he has just recently stepped into the Void Stage, 1st layer. Qing hurriedly came to find Chu Chouhai, who arrived in haste. Chu Qing handed over the intelligence and waited for Chu Chouhai to finish reading it. Fourth uncle, how credible do you think this is? The credibility should be quite high. Regardless, this matter is not something you or I can handle. I will return to the clan territory immediately. Chu Chouhai, holding the intelligence, hurriedly departed. Outside Chu Commandery in a small village, inside a cave excavated halfway up a small mountain, Chu Yun stared intently at the alchemy furnace, his expression grave. Her entire body's spiritual power was pulsating at a peculiar frequency, vibrating the Dan furnace. Chu Yun let out a low growl in his heart, and the frequency of the spiritual power in his hand shifted. The Dan furnace began to spin swiftly. The lid of the Dan furnace opened, and a wisp of crimson smoke rose from within, shimmering with several Dan pills of varying sizes. Chu Yun raised his hand and caught them. 4 were ruined while 5 were ordinary mythic Dan. They had reached the quality of fine-grade pills, smooth, lustrous, with medicinal fragrance lingering subtly without dispersing. Chu Yun was overjoyed and silently reflected on the Dan refining process he had just completed. She identified the shortcomings and planned to improve them in the next Dan refining session. She has run out of spiritual herb and needs to purchase some until mythic Dan can proficiently refine it. The next step is to refine the spirit Dan. Chu Yun had just stepped out. Suddenly, she saw a color-changing python darting toward her. Before she could react, the python merged into her body. Chu Yun frantically examined herself and discovered an unknown power hidden within her body, which seemed to be that very python. Suddenly, she spotted a small storage pouch where the python had emerged from, with no sign of anyone around. She picked up the storage pouch and found it filled with a pile of spiritual herbs. Not only were there the spiritual herbs required for refining the mythic Dan, but even the ingredients for making the spirit Dan were present. Besides the spiritual herbs, there were also over 1 million spiritual crystals. Chu Yun was shocked. Who exactly gave him the storage pouch? Chu Qing. That seemed unlikely. He had no reason to sneakily give it to him. She thought about the unknown power hidden within her body. Probably a senior discovered that I was refining my Dan, and specifically left this spiritual herb to test me. Chu Yun felt that he might have encountered a true master. She held the storage pouch. Excitedly, she returned to the cave. Outside the cave, 2 figures were hiding. You stay here and protect Miss Chu Yun, Zhang Kuei instructed Dong Qian before quietly leaving. The evil cult is planning a surprise attack on Chu Commandery. Zhang Kuei, as the first deputy cult leader, he must have full control of the action plan and deliver reliable intelligence to the Chu family at the first opportunity. After all, it's crucial to curry favor with a big shot like Chu Xuan. As for the evil cult, it doesn't really matter. That man has opened his third eye. This means that from now on, no matter who it is, will be unable to conceal their identity in front of him. Just now, Zhang Kuei came to the small courtyard again. After hearing his report, Chu Xuan was slightly surprised. Chu Yun seems to have quite a talent for Dan refining. In such a short time, he's already able to refine mythic Dan. Very good. Continue to provide the materials needed for Dan refining. Chu Sun nodded with satisfaction. It was indeed the right choice not to kill Zhang Kuei back then. Having a lackey to handle things for oneself is useful. Zhang Kuei's ability to become the first deputy cult leader of the evil cult is not just due to his strength. His capabilities are naturally not lacking either. Then he handed him a bottle of mythical void elixir, also allowing Dong Qian to enhance his strength. After all, with such low power, he wouldn't be able to handle tasks effectively. With these 2 lackeys working for him and no risk of betrayal, naturally the stronger they are, the better. 13th Young Master, our Chu family, in alliance with the He family, took the initiative to attack and returned with a great victory. The excited voice of a servant delivering the good news echoed through the courtyard. I heard the battle was incredibly fierce. The Qin Empire's cult leader, Lu Wang, even resorted to using the sect's sacred treasure. The servant went on and on about it, but in the end, they couldn't withstand the joint siege by the 2 great families. Lu Wang suffered heavy injuries and fled, while the rest of the evil cult's elite were nearly wiped out. Chu Xuan, the rice enthusiast, shoveled a big mouthful of rice into his mouth while thinking to himself, if the Chu family had obtained the intelligence earlier and still failed to deal a heavy blow to the evil cult, that would have been truly pathetic. Accompanying elder has fallen. The sect's treasured artifact is destroyed. The Purple Moon Empire's evil cult is almost on the brink of extinction. The servant continues to boast. Chu Xuan, on the other hand, just kept eating. In a short period of time, It's highly unlikely that the evil cult is capable of causing any trouble now. You have thwarted the evil cult's plot without even leaving your home. Reward: Heavenly Secret Source-Seeking Technique. The system's reward arrived abruptly, and Chu Xuan was overjoyed. This also meant that the evil cult had suffered a crushing defeat. Heavenly Secret Source-Seeking Technique traces the origin. He read the introduction of the Heavenly Secret Source-Seeking Technique. Chu Xuan was shocked. This secret technique is incredibly powerful. It can peer into the origin and background of living beings. It can even reveal one's past life, of course, only if that past life was extraordinary.